So I did want to ask you this: are we going to deep skydiving first, or we're gonna pray and then be like, "Welcome to deep skydiving. This is your girl."
We're going to pray.
Okay.
You just going to do your own intro?
Yeah. Deep skydiving.
So you
I
going to
like
have the
that.
intro plus that? All right.
No,
I mean,
no,
you could
no,
come
no,
on,
no.
Tab.
I'm just
All
playing.
right, come on, Tab.
I'm just trying to give a little bit of.
I know. Give some little spaz, some little character. All right. Let's look to the king. It's AJ.
And Darah. Here we are, deep skydiving.
Skeep diving.
Skeep skydiving.
Yeah.
Deep skydiving, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Deep Sky.
Deep skydiving.
Oh, she got. Go ahead.
I don't know. That's
Go ahead.
not
Do it
really.
again. I missed it.
I don't have much more. Than
Oh, all
that.
right.
So, deep skydiving.
Deep skydiving. Hallelujah. We thank you, Father. We thank you, King. We thank you just for gracing us with this day. Blessing us with another day, Father. And good friendship, just love, healthy relationships. We thank you, Father. Forgive us for any and everything in our life that didn't bring you any honor or things that may brought you dishonor. Forgive us, Father. And show us where we missed the mark that way we may correct it, Father. Allow us to humble ourselves so that you don't have to humble us, Father. Have your way with this podcast, with this episode, that our words come through with clarity. Let the hearers understand and let them receive, Father. And you just do your work and you bring change and you bring effectiveness to these relationships, Father. And let us just give you the glory in everything we do. And let this be the best podcast ever. And it's in your precious Son, Yahushua's name. I ask you all these things. Amen.
Amen.
Bless the King.
Yes, bless the Father.
Deep skydiving.
Deep skydiving. I really been
You
wanting
had
to do
more
that.
energy before we
I did, but I didn't know that I was
do it
going to do
again.
it.
Go ahead, start over. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Deep skydiving. That's all I got.
All right, we in.
Yeah, we in. It's Darah.
It's AJ. That's me.
We're here once again for deep skydiving.
Yes.
I missed you last week, man.
I know.
I felt like,
What?
I didn't know that I was going to miss, recording and all
Oh,
this
yeah?
other stuff. But I was like, it seems like it's been a long time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're here. We're back. And we're ready to go.
All right, so we're going to close up last week.
Yes, last week's topic was in regards to...
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But it was good. It's only because we missed that week.
So we probably don't need to close anything up.
Yeah, because I don't think I had anything to add.
All right, good. I do. I had something I was going to clear up, though.
Okay, what was the clarity?
The lust thing versus need for satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I didn't explain enough, and it probably still won't understand. I don't know. But when God was showing me was lust versus the need, because I thought it was lust, and I was saying it was a need for satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
So my need for satisfaction isn't based off of sex.
Right. I got that. I gathered that.
All right, I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Like, it wasn't based off of sex. It was more based off, like, wanting to feel better or wanting to do something that I know will make somebody else feel better.
Right.
And, that could be anything. It just, sex was the easiest thing.
Yeah,
And so that's
to
why
feel something. Sometimes
Right.
people just need to feel something.
Right.
And that's why you have, I was watching a documentary and this lady was like, when people become like cutters and things like that, like you don't
Yeah.
even understand, like sometimes they
Dang,
just
that's
need to
deep.
feel something. So I feel like that's one of those, those type
One
of
of those
situations.
situations. Yeah.
Mhm. But I do remember what the topic was now.
All right.
The topic was about friends with benefits.
Right. I remember now, too.
Yeah.
After you said it, I remember.
Yeah. So,
All right, so-
but yeah, I didn't have anything to add. Of course, I did ask a client of mine what he, felt. Did he feel like that was something that would be beneficial to anybody?
What?
And the
Being
friends
a
with
friends with
benefits.
benefits?
Yeah, friends
Yeah.
with benefits. And he said first he said that he had partaken in a friendship with benefits, and that the only reason why I didn't, mind you, he's younger. He's in his 20s still.
Okay.
But he said that the reason why I never worked for him was because it's always somebody who gets in the mix. Like if it's just those two people and those are the only two people involved, he feels like he could have gone a little bit longer with it. Of course, in my head, I'm like,
So who got in the mix?
he said that it was her talking to her friends about it. So of
Oh, I
course
got
they're
you.
like,
I got you.
girl, no, why you doing that? He ain't no good for you. Da 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 da. Or he's just doing this, and the third. And so
Women
he said,
always getting in the way of something, man. Always. That's why it's important that I know my girl's friends.
or we hold our friends accountable, and I feel like that's a thing too.
If she wanted to, I'm not promoting this, so let's just move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait.
I will go back and forth with it because right is right, wrong is wrong. The sex part is wrong, but you trying to dictate what your friend is doing if she feels like this is what she wants for herself, I feel like that's wrong.
I believe that when you put it that way, it is. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's not a matter of you dictating. It's a matter of you holding somebody accountable. And if she is opening her mouth, then it's possible that accountability can come back to her.
Well, but that's if. What kind of accountability are we talking about? That's if she's not supposed to. If she doesn't feel like she wants to be having sex. But if they don't live by those standards and they're just
Right,
saying
but
they're
you
just
don't
imposing
know.
their ideas, like, girl, why are you just wasting your time having sex with this guy? If that's what she wants to do.
But what if it's one of those situations where you just open your mouth, period, and you just don't know what type of response you're going to get from your friends? You said something about you having sex.
They
You don't
still
know what
messed
I'm
it
going to say.
They still messed it up for my man.
Well, I guess
with
so.
their situation.
I guess so, if that's
But-
what you look at it as messed up. But maybe they saved her from, continuing to be empty. Maybe if she was empty, because, this is me applying my stuff. That's
Yeah.
not necessarily
Your
what she
assumptions.
was feeling, yeah.
All right, which leads us to our next topic.
Yes, what's our next topic?
I said it last episode. And you were so anxious. You was excited for this one, so.
I was. I think it's important, but I'm gonna read it as it is, written out.
our notes.
What is romance? Is it important? How can a person who doesn't understand it practice it in their relationships?
I got more questions also for it.
Okay,
So how do you want to start?
I want you to go ahead and answer in the best way that you can possibly.
What is romance?
What is romance? Yeah.
So I have the Webster's, not Webster's, but the dictionary definition.
Mm-hmm.
And I have what is romance for me.
Okay.
And so I want to
What's
hit
romance for
mine.
you?
I want to hit on mine later.
Okay.
But I'll give the dictionary definition for romance, right? And so
Okay.
the noun and the verb, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the noun says a strong, sometimes short-lived attachment,
You wanted to make
fascination,
sure you
or
emphasize that.
enthusiasm for something. Yep.
You want to make sure short-lived was a
Yes.
okay.
The verb word for romance, well, the verb is to court, woo, to try to arouse the romantic interest of.
I always feel away
Alright.
when they use the word in the definition.
Yeah,
really
I do
doesn't
too,
clear anything up.
but
But can you go over the noun again, please?
yes, the noun. A strong, sometimes short-lived attachment, fascination, or enthusiasm for something.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a real good definition because it backs my position
Okay.
for what I feel about romance.
Okay. So, what I
This
wanted
is
to
going
do.
to get deep.
Okay. I'm down for that.
All right.
But what I wanted to do was not look at the Webster's definition because I didn't want it to.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, kind of taint what I felt romance was. But I just kind of I started off with what I thought it was. So I just pretty much wrote, romance is subjective. I say romance is subjective and requires trial and error. One must pay attention to their partners to know what true romance is, and it should involve speaking the other person's love language, or it won't be received well. I said well. I didn't say it all. Romance for me doesn't work unless I'm into the person providing it. Otherwise, it's just a kind gesture. Kind gestures are not necessarily romantic to anyone. Romance involves chemistry between the people utilizing it. It can be super simple or complex. Because of that, there aren't really any specific pointers to give someone on how to do it, but you can help your partner by giving them your own cues on what romance is to you.
I agree with like 95% of that.
Okay. Let's start with what
And
you don't agree
I'm
with.
so happy. I can't remember because I was just thinking about the parts that I do agree with. But I'm so happy that you said that, and I want you to repeat that later on also
Okay.
as we go into this thing.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Did you not want to say yours? Your stance?
All right, I'll say mine because I feel like
Because we have the Webster. Like we have the
Webster.
The
So I feel
plain.
just like that. So romance is definitely subjective. So I got my own. You wrote yours. I wrote mine too, right?
Okay, come on. You better be prepared.
Romance to
I'm
me,
like a prepared king.
it's not all typed out and nice like yours.
It's
Oh,
fine.
I'm a king.
A prepared king.
I'm a child of the king. That makes me a king. I like
Hey.
that. Romance to me is that for me, like not anybody else. For me,
A to the
AJ,
J.
yeah, is the essence of you getting my all at that very time. Simply because my life doesn't revolve around you. And so, if you're my lady, of course, decisions will be made with you in regard, but the decisions will not be made like because of you.
Right.
And so, but when all of the decisions are made because of you, it's like I'm giving you my all, and so it like sets the stage, it sets the essence, it sets like the atmosphere for romance, and you'll definitely know when, oh, he's all about me right now.
Right.
And it's not like a specific time. It's not like a time where I buy you flowers or something. It could be like a period from an hour long to a year long. Like who knows?
Right.
But that's just for me when I'm in my romantic essence, my
You in your
romanceness.
bag.
Just made up a word. When I'm in my romanceness, yeah,
I like it.
yeah. All right. So look, so you gonna know it. Like if you my lady, you gonna know like, oh yeah, it's sexy time because I know what he want. All right. So romance. Oh, I don't know if I want to hit this part yet.
It's okay because I had a follow-up question to what you said because you just said she'll know when it's sexy time. So is romance
Not
something
just sexy time. She gonna know when like, oh, he's being romantic.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I think
she's feeling
that
special. Like,
I think that it's important to look at the fact that like it is subjective, right? So of course you could be doing something, you could be thinking you putting the moves on. And I could be like, bruh, what are you doing? Like, stop.
this
please.
is whack. I'm glad you
Yes.
said that.
Yes, and that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
my definition, well, the way I interpret it is more based off of the person, the individual, because I feel like only you really know like when somebody is really putting the moves on. So a little bit deeper of a definition, not definition, but just looking at the scope, looking at some of the things that people said were romantic, I realized that it just involves you involving your partner. So you're not being romantic if you like just go and buy me flowers and then you don't even know if I like flowers or anything like that.
Can you be romantic on accident?
I think so. Yeah, I do believe you can.
I do also.
Yeah, I've been romantic on accident before. Because there's a level of regard that you have to have for a person in order for you to really be romantic too.
So this is my thing. I don't think romance, like being romantic or the romance, has anything to do with the person that's actually doing it. I think it has very little to do with the person that's actually doing it, that's actually performing it. I think a good 85% of it is the person that's being romanced.
What is as far as like who considers it romantic?
So,
or you mean like you're doing the action, the person receiving the act is the one who matters? What do you?
All right, so I'm trying to think how I'm gonna break this down. So, both persons have to be involved for it to be like a romantic relationship, for it to be a romantic time, a romantic period, right? But here's the thing. So I can't do nothing and be romantic. So I got to do something.
Right.
That's my 10 to 15% right. But it's all on how you see it.
Right, yeah.
And this is why I think, oh man, I don't want to hit this part yet. But I do want to ask you something. I do have a couple questions I want to ask.
Okay.
Right. Question number 1. How do you believe other people see romance in comparison to how you see it?
Um, I think that
All right, hold up. Let's
it's
do
a
this.
gender. It's more of a gender thing.
All right, let's do this. So I want you to do it generally speaking, like how Darah sees it versus how you think the world defines it, and how Darah sees it versus men that she's been in relationships, how they seen it.
Okay. So you want me to generalize it? So it generally, I think that men and women, may see romance differently. I think that the only leg up that women have is that if you look on any, website or blog or whatever, and you look up, romantic tips or things that you can do to like spice up your romantic life, it all involves emotion.
Yes.
And we're like the queens of emotion. Like, and it's not
Yes.
even that, it's just that we are allowed to be emotional. So a lot of times I feel like we have, it's not that we have a full control of it, but we are able to identify more than likely. This is not every woman, it's not universal, but more than likely we're able to identify the emotions in which we are experiencing because we have been able to do that for so long. So when it comes to romance, there are a lot of things that I feel that we tap into because of romance being an emotional thing. That maybe men, it might be a whole other, like we might be speaking, two different languages.
Yeah.
So whereas I'm speaking English, you might be speaking Chinese.
And I think just because it means more to y'all.
It means
But-
more to us because it's an emotional thing.
Right.
Again, yeah.
That I'll wait. But how does Darah see romance versus the men that she's been with? Did you notice that we're not on the same page with this, or like?
I don't think that romance has ever really been a problem for me in my relationships because, again, I think it's the regard that you have for people, and mostly I don't date men who don't have like a real like regard for people. So they're always like, to me, romance is, if you speak in my love language, romance is like you spending time with me, like, and I'm talking quality time, or I'm working and you bring me food, but you don't even just bring me food, you bring my team food. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
romance for you?
That's romance for me, and I'll tell you why.
Did you
because
say
what it
romance or
does-
bromance?
Romance.
All right.
But why I believe that is romance is because for me, it shows your heart. It's a display of your heart. And it's not you just thinking about what you can do for me, but you're thinking of the bigger picture.
That's perfect.
And to me, it's like, that's the depth for me because, again, I am more so looking for men, like what men show me or what I'm looking for is how you treat the people who you don't need.
You better be careful.
What?
They listening.
Oh, baby. Let me tell y'all
Give them
something.
all the
AJ
cheat codes.
No,
Give 'em all
AJ
the
really be
cheat
thinking
codes.
that people can cheat, but it's
All
not
right.
possible. It's
Okay.
not. You know why? Because you're gonna get tired, and you will get tired with me because I will stretch it out. You think men be stretching it out? I will stretch
All
it
right,
out.
so that's the thing. Women like it's not just women and men get in relationships, and then you find out later, freaking a year later, like, dang,
He's
this
not
ain't.
even a person that I thought he was.
So you want to give them that ammo for them to stretch out a year of your life?
No, but I can tell.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can tell genuineness of the heart. You know, like we said.
Somebody's about to be bringing food for everybody in the shop.
And
in a
we'll
week.
we'll eat well.
You go like, wow, that was so. You're gonna forget you said this on here and be like, man, that was so nice of him. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
give him
that
a
ain't
date.
gonna do it because I already given that away.
I'm gonna give him a date. Watch.
No,
All right.
but yeah. So that's romance to me. Did it answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, now what
That's
about
fine.
you?
That's fine enough.
On general and on AJ and the
All
women
right,
that
so
you've dated.
I'm gonna get a little chauvinistic here.
Okay.
It's like, nah. So for me, right, I told you romance is like, I got a little bit more what I believe romance is also. That might, hurt little people's feelings. Well, not gonna hurt people's feelings, might irritate some people. Maybe you, I don't know.
We'll see.
But like I said, I feel like romance for me is like an essence of things. So I don't think it's that for most people. So I posted a question on Facebook, and you got different answers, but 100% of the answers was from women. It was what the man does for her and everything, and for the men, it was what the man does for her. And so one of the guys, and I asked the question. I said, "How often do y'all romance in your relationship, and is it important?" I asked people that have been in long-term relationships, not the little couple month jokers. So all of them been like 5+ years. So I asked, is it as important now as it was in the beginning of the relationship? And so my guy answered. He was the first one to answer. He was like, "It's important." He's like, "It's still important," but he said, he said they have romance in their relationship like 4 times a year. He's like, it's about 3 to 4 times a year. But he said because when he does it, like he goes big, like he goes all out. So like he had Brian McKnight sing her a song on one little, I don't know if it was her birthday date or whatever, but he had Brian McKnight sing to her one time. And he did a couple of other things. Like he was like, when I do it, I just go all out for her. And so I can't do that all the time. So that's like 3 or 4 times a year maybe or something. And so, and one girl, I think he was the only person that, was he? It might have been another dude, I can't remember. But one girl said, and he's been with his lady for 5+ years. I think they have a child together too. So that comes into that changes up a lot of things also. One girl said she was like 3 or 4 times a week. And so I was like,
From
damn.
her man?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, damn. It's like, how long y'all been together? And she's like, they've been together for 5 years. And I think they known each other longer, but they've actually been together for 5 years. And she said, it's like 3 or 4 times a week. They buy me flowers every Tuesday. Like he does this, he does like sit with me and talk to me while I'm in the tub, things like that. And I was like, I used a little notepad emoji. It was like, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Taking
Take
notes. Yeah. For the things that I figured, that would be cool. And another girl, she's been with her husband. They've been married for I think 11 years, but they've been together since they was like 16. So this is a girl I went to like middle school with, high school with, and everything. And she told me, and I think they got like 3 kids. Oh, and I asked the other girl, I said, "Do y'all have any kids?" She has one. The dude has none of his own.
Oh, okay.
And so I asked, I said, "Do you think that's why?" And of course, that's when you bring a child into the mix. A lot of things change because now my life it's not just about you anymore. I can't just give you 24/7.
Right.
Give you all of me 24/7. This child demands a lot. And so that slows the romance sessions down. And so the girl, I was about to say her name. I don't want to say her name though. But the girl that been with her husband, she was 16 and everything. She was saying, this is what I appreciate about her because she actually made it about him too. She was like, so he does this to me, all the nice fancy things, and then I'm gonna just highlight what she said about him. She said, and to him, romance is something different than what it is to me. And so she was like, for him, I just while he's working or something, I might just come and rub on his back, rub on his shoulders or something. He really loves those things. And it's just she's like, it's like the small subtle things. So they like try to live in that state of romance and everything. But they both understand they got kids, the woes of life come, but they always try to keep the romance in their relationship. And so I was like, man, that's dope. But what I believe romance is, like I said, you're not going to get romance from me all the time. My personality type, my attachment type, which I also wanted to ask you, I don't think it doesn't demand romance 24/7. Like it won't even it can't demand my person to even try to be romantic all the time because of my individualism, things we talked about and everything, because of who I am as an individual, and just because of my attachment type. Like I have to be intentional about romance. It's not the number one. It's not. I don't even think it's like top 3 on my list. So I have to be intentional about romance, and that's why I said you will notice a difference when I'm trying to be romantic, or when I'm trying to like usher in a closeness. I think it's just the closeness in the relationship between the two. Like, so even when you're not doing something, no grand gestures, even when you're not doing these big grand gestures like buying flowers or going out on dates and everything, I think the romance is just that closeness y'all have and that comfortability y'all have with each other that just lets you know, like, we don't even have to do nothing special, but we're just so, I don't want to say in love because I don't like that.
Do you think that intimacy is the umbrella and romance is under there just like sex is under there?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, agreed. So what part do you think that I would be okay with?
All right, so
Because
I got some more questions too.
I'm waiting
All right, so-
to get to that.
all right, well, not
Tell
yet
me.
then. All right.
No, tell me. I thought that was a whole lead up. I thought that's what
Nah,
we were
these are the
building to.
questions. These are the questions.
Well, so you said you were gonna go the chauvinistic approach.
Not yet. I'm gonna go there. It's going. Don't worry. It's gonna get there. You see this line right here?
Okay. So
I already gave you a part of it when I said I think it has more to do with the person who's receiving it. Like it has more to do with you than it does me.
Agreed.
All right, cool.
Agree, and I also think that. Well, you go ahead, but I will say I think that it's just proving the point that I was making earlier, which is the
I
fact
agree
that
with you.
women are more emotional and men are not.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
So that we're there.
And more emotional, intelligent.
Yeah.
Well,
Some women are not.
Hold up.
Yeah,
I don't want to say.
it's hard for me to make
Yeah.
that sort of blanket statement because I do feel like a lot of women we've dealt with our emotions much longer, but it doesn't mean that we're emotionally intelligent. Yeah.
I agree. All right. How is romance affected by attachment types? Have you ever gave that any thought?
I absolutely have, only because that attachment styles have been really the thing that I've been kind of trying to think about a lot more lately, especially from our friends with benefits conversation and just general conversation with my friends. Understanding how I show up in the world is so very important to me. So I feel like attachment style is even more important because what it does is it kind of shows the way I operate in relationship.
Yep.
And when they talk about attachment styles, what my friend told me in the conversation was that it was more so about romantic relationships. And I was like, but it can't, I feel like,
Really?
yeah, well, that's what she was saying. Cause I was like, in transparency to her, what I said was, I think that I can be classically avoidant when it comes to men, when it comes to my romantic relationships, I can be very avoidant. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that I am avoidant when it comes to somebody who has, what was the other attachment style? It was secure, anxious. When somebody has an anxious attachment style, and that's what they're giving to me.
Yeah.
So they're very,
vibes.
they're all over the place. They're trying to play games with me. I notice that I'll start to shut down. But I will say when it comes to my friends, and I can't even say that it's my male friends, I don't think it has anything to do with gender. I just think it's on a friendship level. Mm-hmm. That with my friends, I have a secure attachment style because I'm not really like worried about, you know what I mean, what you guys are doing always. I'm not constantly playing games like, let me see if he missed me or let me see if she misses me. Mm-hmm. It's really like, we're all just living in this world. Like I offer you grace. If I do get mad, like we can talk about it, like that sort of thing. Yeah. But when it comes to men who I feel will be leaders, right? Especially because I don't really just date casually. Like I've done that in my 20s.
Why not?
Now I don't date casually because I'm looking to get married. Like it's a desire of my heart to be married. So I date with more intention. Mm-hmm. And so with me intentionally dating, there are a lot of things that I'm looking at. And a lot of those things have to do with the way that you are a leader.
I think I need to casually date.
I think you should.
Because I don't think I ever casually dated.
Why not?
Because when I actually started dating for real, it was like to get married.
Oh, wait, when did you start dating?
After 21.
Okay. And
so I don't even really know if I dated for real.
Oh, okay.
Like I think I've dated my girlfriends, but I don't think I've like.
Right, but then you also don't approach women either. Right? Is that what you said?
I have to really be. I don't. It's probably like one or two women in my entire life that I
actually approach.
I had to like really be captivated by something.
I got you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and it's so crazy. We have to do an episode about dating because I feel like even what you were at 21, like starting to do that or starting to do whatever you would call, that time, even if you were dating it for intention, the culture has changed from then until now. So you wouldn't even be able to approach the dating pool the way that you did back in the day, having, a pandemic.
Well, it'll all be completely new to me anyway because I never approached the dating pool. So.
Right. Facts. But I will say, I've tried it all and it's just not.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to,
Yeah, so I don't know. What were the other attachment types?
so it was secure, it was anxious, and it was avoidant.
So I can't speak on anxious and avoidant because I just don't relate to it, you know, and I don't want to make an assumption. I think we should have somebody else that I think people might not even admit to having those type of attachment styles.
But they also have tests that you can do. I'm not the saying that, you know, the
Yeah.
thing about tests is they're standardized anyway. So
Yeah.
there's not really like a foolproof way of finding out. But maybe because we're going to do an episode in regards to the DISC assessment and the Enneagrams and those tests. So maybe we can, you know, do something fun and have you take an attachment style test just to find out.
I know what it is.
He's anxious, guys. I'm just playing. AJ's not anxious. Well, you're not like that
Not
to me
even
because
close.
I'm your friend.
Yeah, not even close.
But you could be very avoidant. You could
I
be quite avoidant, especially with you being
So
so
what? Some
individualistic.
bullshit? Yeah, that's how I'm avoiding.
But you could be operating in an avoidant attachment style and just not even know it. Like,
All right, well, we'll find out. But I'm pretty sure I'm secure.
yeah, well,
And that's why I said with that attachment style, like, it would be evident when we're in this time of romance. Just because, like, he is real secure with just being by himself, by being alone, like doing his own thing. And he is just really attached to me right now.
but right, I was gonna say, because I think that's the caveat to the secure attachment style is just that, like, there's a give and the take.
I like that though.
Yeah.
That now you're able to decipher. It's easy. It's evident what's going on right now. And I would rather have it that way. I don't want to leave it up to like the guess.
Chance, yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
Oh, I thought you were being romantic.
Like, no, that ain't it. That ain't romantic,
Then I gotta lie.
right?
Oh, I was.
Right? Yeah, you welcome, baby.
Now that we here, yeah,
Right.
we finish up.
Yeah.
But,
So okay,
yeah.
so your question was do you think that romance has to do with?
Nah, does
Oh,
attachment
romance
styles?
affected.
Yeah, is romance affected by attachment styles?
Yeah. Did I answer your question? I feel like I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Okay.
If you didn't, hopefully somebody will ask, or somebody will say, "No, you didn't answer it." But, all right, here we go.
Oh.
The girl question.
Okay.
How?
I'm a girl.
All right, so look, it's like a 2-part question.
Okay.
How important? You can ask me the same question if you want.
Okay.
How important is romance to you on a scale from 1 to 10? And how important do you want it to be on a scale from 1 to 10?
I think that romance is a 10. And I think that I want it to be a 10. And here's what I'll tell you. I think that the reason why it's a 10 for both is because I understand romance to be, again, something very small to something very large.
All right, so-
See, I don't need Brian McKnight singing to me 4 times a year.
What should it be
What you mean?
on a scale of 1 to 10? What should? So, you know what it is to you. You know what you want it to be. What should it be? Like, if you put yourself on the outside looking into your relationship, what would you say? Like, it should still be a 10?
Yes.
I think you're just the girl.
And I am, and unapologetically. but again, I see why. See, romance, breaking it down as a woman, and ladies,
go.
back me up in the comments, anything, email, whatever. Romance is when your man is showing you that he wants you to be a part of his life, that you do something for him that nobody else does, that you are somebody who he thinks about even when the task is not for you. So I'm going to the store for real and buy me a 12 pack or whatever. But I know you like Snickers, or I know that you're on your cycle.
How you know I like Snickers?
What I'm saying is
Say
the
nah.
woman, his woman.
I know I was messing
Do
with
you like Snickers? See, I ain't even know that. We ain't even friends for real.
I don't eat them. I used to love Snickers. I don't eat them like that.
Yeah, they're
anymore,
not.
though.
They're not that great for you.
There's a lot of stuff that's not that great for me.
I was about to say that you probably still consume, but no,
Yeah.
I know you like Snickers.
Mhm.
I'm gonna grab you a Snickers. To me,
That's romance.
that's romance. Yes, because it doesn't have to be you buying 4 dozen roses
See, to me,
and
it's not.
sprinkling it all over my goddamn house because I don't like my house to, have all this
Yeah.
crap over it. Like,
don't want
now you
these-
got to clean it
these
up.
petals everywhere.
For some women, that's great for them.
But he's going to clean it up.
What? And maybe he won't though. What if he's one of those? I do it, but I'm not the cleanup crew.
I don't think, I could be wrong. I don't think a guy's going to like make the mess. Like, and he's trying to set a scene for romance and everything. I don't think he's going to make the mess and not be willing to clean it up.
Okay, well, it's a good thing that you're not that guy, but there are some men who.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'd do the roses.
Okay, and that
Do the
again,
rose petals and all that.
that is a grand gesture,
But
it doesn't have to always be grand.
I won't do it if you experienced it before. Like, if another nigga did this for you, like, I'm not doing something another nigga did. Like, you don't tell me I like being laid on a bed of rose petals and everything. My ex did this for me. I guarantee you, there's likely a chance
that
it will never happen again. Not with me.
Yeah, I don't know how ingenious it is for you to tell your man that your last nigga did that
But
for
some
you.
girls just, if this is what you like it doesn't matter the guy.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair. But
think it is fair.
I'm just not gonna be the guy to do it.
Right, because there's so many. But again, that's also why I guess I'm placing so much emphasis on the fact that romance, it is a spectrum of things.
Yes, it is.
Because it doesn't have to. Well, she's not saying that it has to be rose petals every single time, and I have to lay on my back. It means I like romance. Like, how can you not take that from there?
She wants to be laid on her back on the bed of rose petals with a camera recording.
Right.
She
could be giving you the whole session. Yes,
she wants to make a flick.
Right. She could be giving you all of that, but that's not indicative of what you have to do. And as a matter of fact, a lot of women would be like, ugh, nigga, like, I literally just told you that's what my last man did, or that's what happened before, and you're going to repeat it? Like,
why would you tell me? Like, you're going to tell me this is what you like, this is what your last dude did, but you don't want me to do it? I'm not going to do it anyway, but why would you tell me?
But again, the romance part is, to me, and I like men who think. I like men who are analytical. So my thing is, if you would just repeat something that I've told you about, then you're not even thinking. You know what I mean? At all. Like, there's
yes,
you're not pulling anything from that. You know, you're just repeating a thing. So
yeah, I'll just take, like, this was the essence of that. I'll do something different and flip it, turn around. You know.
Yeah, maybe I'll lay on your back, but like on this couch. With no rose petals on a bed of Snickers. Right.
So there's gonna be one Snickers on this couch.
Right.
All right. So for me, how important is romance?
Yes.
Hold up. Oh, I thought you was about to ask something else.
No, go ahead.
How important is romance to me? So this is kind of hard for me because I think because I'm not in a relationship right now, it is not that high up on my list.
Okay.
So right now, I think romance is like a 4.
Okay.
For me, right? And because of where I'm at in my life, I think it should be less. The only reason it's a 4, I think romance for me right now should be 0. Just because I'm really just trying to focus on myself and do what I need to do, you know, to prepare for my future, really set the stage for my future. I think it should be a 0. The only reason it's a 4 is because it's probably really like a 9 or 10. But I know that it doesn't need to be that high. And so I fight it because I do want like women companions. I do want the companionship of a woman. I do want somebody that I can spend time with and everything. But I have to fight it just because I know that where I need to go in my life and what I'm trying to prepare for, I don't have the time for that. And it'll be a great distraction for me.
Okay.
And so
I'm thinking of a question.
Go ahead.
So do you think that romance is something that you should practice in or out of a relationship? In or outside of a relationship, I should say.
How do you practice it outside of a relationship? Who do you practice it with?
So, as I said, what makes it romance, and this is in my opinion, is the fact that you are chemically like, or you have an attraction to somebody. And I said chemically because, you know, there's that chemistry there.
Yeah.
But to me, that's what makes it romance. But I said otherwise, it would just be a kind act.
Right.
So with that, I feel like there is a level of you practicing because you are thinking about, again, it's the regard. You thinking about somebody else other than yourself. And I feel like you do that.
I do that naturally.
Yeah.
That's not me practicing romance, though.
But I think But I think what happens is because it comes so naturally for you, you don't think that it really is playing a role, but it is because I feel like unless you don't, and that's going to be my next question. My next question is going to be in relationship. When you are in a relationship, if you can remember, what was the number for both?
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
Because that's where I believe that's part of where I messed up at.
Okay. I'm ready. I want to hear it. Let it flow, honey.
I want to hear it.
Yes, let it flow.
All right. Put a asterisk right there. We're going to come right back to it just so we can get to this question.
Okay.
Because I want to end on that. I think that's just like the next episode. Yeah. So
The Boom Coon Cat.
when does romance begin?
The romance begins in courting.
In courting. All right. Maybe I shouldn't ask this last question then. I believe that also. Romance begins like in the dating stage, I guess. Yeah. Why does it end?
Because people become what you said about the woes of life. People become so involved in whatever else is going on instead of involved in who their partner is, without realizing that it's so contradictory. Because again, partner is partner, right? We're doing life together, so obviously whatever I got going on can't be more important than what you got going on because we're supposed to be doing it together.
Such a woman response.
Okay, go ahead.
What's
the man
what happened to
response?
the individualism thing? Hold up, I thought you was secure too.
Absolutely, but that's not to say that you're losing who you are, though. See, partnership. Oh, I'm so glad you said this.
Yes, me too.
My mom
Let's
and
do
I
it.
just had a conversation
Tell me about
today.
it. Tell me what mom said.
We were talking about marriage, and so my mom's like, "If it ain't serving you, then you could be, if he a food, or you can move on."
I love.
Mom.
Mom.
I've learned. She's like, I've learned that I don't need, such and such or whatever. And not saying that she doesn't need, like, she's obviously my mom's married, but she was saying that I don't, I recognize the difference between needs and wants. And I said, oh, great, you said that, because I told her about the podcast and stuff. And I said, but what you need to understand, mommy, is I do want to get to a place where I need the person that I marry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to need my husband.
So,
but I said,
I want to know what she said. I'm pretty
will
sure I
she?
probably know what she said.
No, she said, well, I had to explain to her what I meant, though.
Oh, all right.
So what I said was, when I say need, though, I need you to realize, though, that it's only because I know who I am as an individual, though.
Yeah.
So when I say that I'll need my husband, it's because I know who I am, right? I know who you are. We are one. We're doing life together. We're working together to solve a problem. More than it's like, I can't solve the problem at all because I don't know who I am, or I'm finding who I am in who you are. So if you were to leave the equation, I don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. You're gone. I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I was saying. And so she was like, yes. She said, so the reason why your marriage would work is because you do know yourself.
Ooh, mama knows something.
She absolutely does.
Yeah.
She absolutely does. But that's what I was telling her is the difference between, me and her, because she's like, girl, if you gotta go, then you gotta go. You ain't gotta stay with a fool.
So many people feel that way. That hurts me.
Yeah.
So
It's
I'm
like,
gonna stay right here before we go back to the romance thing.
Okay.
Just because I just feel like that's so important. Because for me, like, that's partially why the reason I feel like I need my wife. Well, it's not the meat and potatoes of it, right? And so I need my wife. This is why I need my wife. So it's quite a few reasons. One, it's because I made an everlasting commitment to her and to God. That'll be the only everlasting commitment I ever make in my life. There's nothing else that I will be 100% committed to until the day that I die or the day that she dies. Not even my children. Like, it's going to be her, period. Like, I heard this dude say, he told his kids, he's like, look, your mother loves you with all her heart. I love your mother with all my heart. That's the only reason I'm doing for you like this, because your mother would be on me if I didn't. That's
conceptually,
exactly how
I
feel.
understand that, though.
Yeah.
I do. I understand it because I don't feel like that is so far-fetched. I feel like, maternally, I feel like there are so many moms who, even in this might be controversial, but even in placing their kids before their husbands, I don't feel like that's the way that goes. Obviously, you know, you care for your children, but to care for them more than you care for your husband, in a sense of making him feel like, or not making him feel like, because I don't feel like you have the power to make somebody feel a way. That person feels the way that they are going to feel.
Like, you don't want him to feel neglected.
Right. Because
With his own kids.
if you guys aren't right, and that's what they miss. If y'all two are not right, the kids cannot be right.
The
I've
only
been
thing
in that
is,
household before.
Men might be all right with that though.
What? That y'all aren't right?
No, not saying that you're putting the kids before him. Like, don't verbalize that. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to verbalize that. Like, my kids mean more to me than you. Like, ain't no nigga gonna be all right with that. Mm-hmm. But the actions of it, like just that living out that experience, that might be what he wants more than anything. Mm-hmm. So, like, if something happened, just for instance, it's probably a stupid analogy or illustration, whatever. If it was a fire in the house, don't come back to get me. Mm-hmm. Get the kids.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah,
that's not what I envisioned in that.
But look, if there's a fire in the house, I'm coming back to get you, and then I'm gonna get the kids. Okay. And then I'm gonna get the kids. You see, it's because I don't even know how to say this. I don't know if I had the words for this, but I don't need them damn kids. I need you. But as a man, like, I should be able to do what I need to do, right? Those kids can't. I'm gonna take care of you so that you could take care of the kids. It's like a train. Like, you bring them along. Right. So I could take care of you more than you can take care of me. Mm-hmm.
I can understand that. Yeah. I don't understand it because I'm not a man.
Yeah.
Because
somebody help me do this, man.
Right. Yeah. No, but
Masculine
I don't
men,
think.
Again,
men. I don't think that there's anything wrong with the logic.
Yeah.
It's just that I can't be anything but a woman. So my thing is, to me, it sounds crass, but I get it. Like,
no, I think you're right though. I do believe that you're right, and that's what it should be. Like, the husband, the wife comes before the children. A lot of people would disagree. That's like a big, debatable topic online.
And please debate with us. I welcome debate. I do.
I do. I mean, I do too.
I feel like it brings perspective.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And it's not to say if you do put your kids before you put your husband that you are the worst person in America. No, I'm not. I'm not about to do that. I just, again, I feel like I guess because I'm a product of a home that was split, right? A product of divorce. I know how hard it is on a child. Yeah. And then the divorce happened when I was just I was a teenager. So I'm trying to get to know who I am. And so it's not, I never blame my parents because that's all they could do was what they could do. That's a deep one right there, because that's a part of your identity too that parents are not considering, and that we as individuals aren't considering when you're trying to address trauma in your life and everything. Again. You're not even realizing that your parents' divorce has a major effect on your identity. It absolutely does.
And that needs to be something that's addressed and targeted for you to heal from.
Yeah. The trauma is there. And so that's why it was paramount for my mom and I to have the conversation that we did today, because she told me that in her first marriage, she felt like she needed my father going into it to know who she was. That was where she missed it at. And she knows who she is with my stepdad.
Yeah.
Which is a whole different dynamic.
Which is, oh my goodness, forgive me.
What?
I don't want to say it because it might come out wrong, and I don't want her to see this.
My mom?
Or Mr. Roosevelt to see this and it be offensive or something.
Say it, and we'll deal with it after.
I was going to say, which is unfortunate, because I wish she would have had that sense of who she was with her first relationship, with her first marriage. That divorce might not have been.
Yeah. And maybe we could say the same for Mr. Roosevelt, you know, in his situation. But of course, everything, again, nothing happens unless God allows it. So here we are, in this, and maybe that was the lesson, right? And, they were supposed to teach other people. But I agree. I mean, even being the product of that relationship, I love Mr. Roosevelt. But of course, I would rather for my biological parents, have had, made it work.
To work out.
Right. But that's not the story. So there's no resentment there. I don't feel a way about, my mom being in the relationship that she's in. Because I absolutely adore my stepdad. And again, I think that he taught me some things. Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like he has been, he taught me some amazing things too that I had to learn from him. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think that that's disrespectful at all.
Yeah.
And my mom's a realist. She's not going to be like, why would he say it? No, she's going to be like, nah, that's real talk. That's real rap.
I like Mr. Roosevelt, man. Cool dude too,
Yeah,
man.
he's a real cool dude.
Yeah.
Yep. So
All right, two, why I feel like I need my wife, right? And it's not even just personal things. It's because I know what marriage is. Like, it's supposed to be a reflection, like an image of God's love to the world. Like, once I make that everlasting covenant with you, like, we have to figure this out. We have to make this work. I need you, or I'm going to feel like a failure at something. Like, I don't want to let God down.
right.
In that area. So like,
Right.
I need you for this.
And I think that's also why, it's a slow roll for me. It's not something that I just want to jump into. I think you've so eloquently said that, like, two people can make it work. Like, different types of people, they can make it work. But for me, I feel like there's a lot of things that I would need to know about that person before making that sort of commitment to Christ. Before, you know what I mean? Before
100%. Before maybe you're
yeah,
married.
that's what I'm saying. So for me, that's why it hasn't been, this marriage, that marriage, that, no shades to anybody who has done that. But for me, it's going to be one and done.
Yeah.
And that's just that.
It's only one way out of this marriage.
Yeah. Body bag.
Body bag.
Body bag.
I mean, I don't even know. Well, that's if, somebody else kills
We
you.
ain't killers, but don't push us.
You feel me? Don't tell
I'm
me.
just playing.
Don't tell me you want a divorce.
What if they use this as evidence for something? Like,
I'm not getting divorced.
me either.
So it doesn't matter.
Nope. Would you live in separate houses from your wife?
Yes, I would.
Me too.
Like, if we had to get separated, I don't believe in divorce. If we had to get separated for something,
Right,
like, if
then
it got that bad,
Yeah, absolutely.
because
separate.
we know people who've been divorced and then got back married to
Yes,
the person that.
we
and
do.
so I do believe that sometimes you might just need to separate and grow, especially if you don't have your sense of individualism in a relationship. Like, if y'all been so tied to each other, you found your identity in being in a relationship with this person, you might just need to separate and find yourself, and just both of y'all need to grow to whatever limit, whatever extent y'all need to grow, and then come back together.
True.
Because that's just what I believe. I don't believe in divorce. I'm not divorcing. Like, if my wife ever tries to divorce me, like, I will fight it all the way to the end.
And I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think it's fair also.
Yeah, so I think that covers that.
Yeah.
But
All right.
did you answer the question in regards to the general romance and then the AJ romance? Oh yeah, you did. And then you said you were gonna double back
So
to
I feel like the
in
general
the relationship.
romance, people, it's emphasis on the action.
Right.
Like I said, for me, it's an essence. It's like I don't even know how to explain it.
An essence.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the best way I could explain it. It's like an essence. It's
essence.
not the actual action.
Uh-huh.
And so I say,
So
remember
you
what?
mean
Remember
like
what
the
I said?
chemistry, or no? You don't mean like the like how these two people react to one another? Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
the
but that could be
spirit of
bad.
it?
That could be bad also though. Like, y'all could have chemistry and still
Yeah,
not be working.
that's true.
So, but you remember how I said romance for me, you'll know when but you'll definitely know it because it's like everything becomes about you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm saying. So I don't have to be like at work texting you all day for you to know like this nigga is really in his bag right now.
Yeah.
Because you'll come home and you'll just feel it. Like everything about just this time for however long it lasts, you'll know that this is just about me. Like, I just feel so good with him right now.
Mm-hmm.
And with saying that, I'll just go straight to this. With my exes, and you remember when I said I gave too much going forward, and I said I'll never do that again
What were you?
until I'm married.
Oh yeah.
Remember making sacrifices and this and that for my exes until I'm married. So what I noticed with my exes, like, I romanced them early on with my level of romance, because if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go all in with it, or I'm not. And so with my level of romance, now that I know this is where I messed up at, I'll dial it back, I'll cut it back. I feel like I gave them my all to where it's just like, we spoke about this before. And I think men just do this when they really want, when this is something they're really working towards. Like, so if I'm working towards getting married, I'm working on being a husband. Mm-hmm. And there's no space for that in like dating stage. There's no space for that in boyfriend girlfriendhood. Mm-hmm. Like if you're boyfriend girlfriend, that's exactly what you are. You're not husband and wife. So stop acting like that. And so I romanced early on, and that's what they fell in love with. And so when that stopped, like when it was like, all right, we're working towards this. Now we got to do the romance is not going to lead us to marriage. Now we got to start doing the things that we're going to work towards for marriage. I start preparing as if we're going to get married, like saving money, or if it's change of profession, or if it's we want to have these things in order. Mm-hmm. Now my focus is more so on preparing for the next stage of life than it is romancing you. But now that the romance is gone, it's been.
So you would say, and I'm just going to use a culturally relevant term. You know how they say love bombing? You know what love bombing is? Somebody does all of these.
I think that's a word that might be used like in the female community. The women's community. The
so
men's just don't know it.
No, because they use it a lot when it comes to like dating, especially when it comes to like catfishing and things like that. Like they said that you'll know like when somebody is trying to con you and things like that, because what they'll do is they'll love bomb you. They'll try to make you feel so invested in them and like da 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 da, and then they'll like they'll like yank it back or whatever, or make you feel like you're so devoted to them, or they have such loyalty to you. So they give you all of this stuff. I love you. Like within the first week, they're like, I love you so much. I really care about you and all this other stuff. And then, what's expected then is, the con comes and they're like asking you for money. Like, can you send me $20,000 for da 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 da?
Like that Tyler Perry movie that sucked with the old lady and the young man.
Yes. Yeah. I forgot the name of it.
Fall from Grace.
A Fall from Grace. And have you watched The Tinder Swindler?
Negative.
So The Tinder Swindler was about a guy who was supposed to be a billionaire. Somehow he's supposed to be a billionaire on Tinder. Why would you need to be a billionaire on Tinder? Anyway,
women just don't think. They just
no, seriously, and especially when it comes to like wanting to be chose. Like
right.
Anyway. So I said this to say, do you feel like when you get into your relationships
that a love bomb?
That you romance bomb. I just took the love bomb out because I feel like.
Thank you, because I definitely don't love bomb.
No, I don't think that you love bomb because I don't think that you're a con artist.
Right, there you go.
But
that's why I was
what I'm saying is you romance bomb, right? And then again, like you said, when you start focusing on the next level, you said you started to pull back on the romance part. Do you think like that it's like that you have to like slow it up when you come in, or do you have to be more consistent throughout?
So you remember when I said I'm working on myself right now, and so the romance, like I intentionally have to bring it down. Mm-hmm. And so I believe when you're dating, like even if you have to, I mean, I got my, I leveled up with my emotional intelligence and everything. Mm-hmm. And so I know when I'm really captivated or when I'm really interested in somebody. Mm-hmm. And so to not allow my emotions to take control and have me romance bomb them, mm-hmm. like I gotta really just sit down with myself, like, all right, hold up, player, like you got the juice. They gonna fall in love with you.
Oh Lord,
dial it back. So I don't think I romance bombed them. I think what happened was that was just the initial stages. So, first impressions mean a lot. That was just the initial stage. Like you said,
your representative.
That wasn't my representative because he comes back.
But why does he have to go away?
So he didn't go away fully. It just wasn't to that extent.
Right.
And
so
because
you
that's
weren't
what you were in love.
It wasn't bombs over Baghdad.
It wasn't bombs over Baghdad. It was more like, when North Korea shoot the missile over and Barack shot it down. It wasn't. It was more like that, like bombs of Baghdad. It's like garboom, garboom, garboom.
Yeah. That's what you lead with, though.
Nah, so yeah, I guess whatever.
Yes, I'm just pointing something out.
So it's not really what you lead with intentions, but it's just our culture says this: a man takes a woman out on a date, he pays. Right, you open the door. Mm-hmm. You be a gentleman. You have chivalry. You chivalrous type of guy. A lot of women don't experience that. So when they do experience, like, man, he's such a good person. That just warmed them up for it. And then just me being me. When people actually get to know me, they start to like me more. And and when you like me more, I like you more, and it makes me want to do more, and it just starts to grow. And now it's like we're not dating anymore. We're getting serious. The relationship demands more than just romance, and so I feel like I don't want to keep the romance up, because that's why I said when I said when does it end? Why does it end? You have people that have been romanced all the way up until they had a child. And then now, you know how men be like, women change after they have babies, which they probably do. And some women say men change after they have children and everything. The thing is, you just had all this romance and it was just about y'all, and y'all was so in love. And now you had this child. Now there's another responsibility in this thing. And now you're not feeling the same way, because I can't keep doing the same things we've been doing. And now you're starting to see a different side of me that was always there. You was just so captivated by the romance. You were just so.
Got you. So you're saying, okay, let me tell you what I hear you saying.
I like that.
You're saying
romance blinds.
That there's nothing wrong with romance bombing, right? Especially in the beginning of a relationship. But as things change, as life changes, the one receiving the romance shouldn't place that much emphasis on it if y'all are going to develop something more in a relationship, because things change, things happen.
Right.
So if the romance is not there or it's starting to lack, then you have to focus on the other parts, the other aspects of a relationship in order for things to work.
Yes.
Okay.
So romance will never be a 10 for me, because you remember I said it more so depends on the person receiving than it is the person that's giving. And so for me, it'll never be a 10 for me, because I know that my focus will not always be on just trying to be in a lovey-dovey stage with you. For me. So even if you're trying to romance me, it could be epic failure, just because it's not where I'm at. Like, I'm trying to take it somewhere else.
I think that's why I think that is the most important part about this whole entire episode, is that you are still so focused on the fact that romance is lovey-dovey, and what I'm telling you, it's not that. It's not giving. So what I'm saying is, you can still buy your wife a Snickers.
Yeah.
And y'all got 9 kids.
Yeah.
It's about thinking about her. Again, what you're saying is it's going to lack. It doesn't have to.
I want to call somebody right now.
You can. Are they going to answer, though? Because then we'll have wasted a lot of time.
She'll probably answer.
Okay.
I don't know.
Her. Oh, you can't call her. You know the number?
Do you have Chanel's number?
Let me see.
My Chanel Jackson, not your Chanel Jackson.
I know. No.
Dang.
I have Joaquin's number. You gonna call him?
Call him real quick.
Which number should I call?
One of them he doesn't even have anymore.
Okay, well, we can delete that when we finish. The type of impromptu things that we do on this show.
This is going to be so interesting if he answers.
Much.
Oh, he's not going to answer.
Because he doesn't know why I'm calling.
No, he probably he would answer. Joaquin's he's that guy. He'll end up calling back, but he's probably not by his phone. You know, he got 4 kids. So
that's all good.
Yeah. But I know it's not just lovey-dovey, blah, 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 this and that, right? But there is something that you're looking for in romance. Like, you're not just doing it just because, which will be beautiful if you are.
So why were you calling Chanel, though?
So, because 1, she's a woman. 2, they have 4 kids. And I know for a fact that Joaquin still does things like that for her. Like, he's always thinking about her. But I wanted to get her perspective to see if she considers that romance.
Oh, okay.
So
you don't think, what are your thoughts on what she's going to say?
I don't know. That's why I was calling to ask her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's probably the biggest miscommunication and misconception between the sexes, is that for some reason you think that you're a woman, because again, I heard you say that it's more of a woman thing from your Facebook question and all that, because you said it's more about the recipient. that men think that it has to be like it has to be like a certain thing, but you guys are thinking from your minds more than you're thinking from our minds. See, a lot of times we'll tell you what it is that we need, in some way, right? Again, it goes off. It's based off of our love languages and the things that we like.
Right.
So you don't have to always. So,
but us doing those things, that's specific.
yeah, it has to be from you.
But I'm saying that's something specific. So it
right,
is
but
actually.
who would it come from then?
No, I'm saying you saying we're looking at it as if it's like something doing something specific, but it is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
So what do you? Did I say it wrong or?
Because you were saying we're looking at it from our perspective instead of looking at it from your perspective, but it's the same thing.
Well, yes, but again, that's why the subjective part is there, is because it has to be. Because you could think that you telling me that you love me all the time is romantic.
All right.
Because that's on the list of romantic things.
Hold up. There, you say that right. Now, what if I stop saying it?
Then what? Stop saying that you love me?
Yeah.
I think for some people that would be an issue, especially if words of affirmation is their love language.
Hold up, no. Especially if they always said it and gave you a kiss on the cheek goodbye before they left.
Yes, and you stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Because consistency is on the list of romance.
Thank you. But you just said you was like, that's not that big to you, but because it's something that he consistently did, if he stops, now it's an issue.
Wait, I said that?
So if he, so
I said
like,
if he stopped doing something.
No, so if he always every day he tells you I love you, I love you, but that's not romance to you. But if he stops doing it, it'll be an issue. It would change.
Yeah, but that's not following. But to me, I'm telling you that's not falling under the romantic category, though. So that's, to me, you telling me that you love me is not falling under the romance category.
All right.
Because I'm not that type of person where I feel like if you don't tell me that you love me, then we're doomed. Because I feel like the actions. I'm more of an actions girl.
Yeah.
But I
right.
do feel like if that's something that you do and that person finds that romantic and you just stop doing it, that is a problem. Because again,
so who finds getting a Snickers romantic? I'd rather tell you I love you than to get you a Snickers.
But if that's what,
or for you to give me a Snickers.
If I'm like on the couch, like balled up and like feeling down and all this stuff, and you're out and you're like, all right, bet I'm gonna bring you like some ice cream and a Snickers.
I'm gonna be like, that's her
romantic.
problem. I'm gonna throw your Howard blanket on you and roll out. I'm like, that's her problem. She was.
But even
like, I was joking.
But even throwing the Howard blanket on could be seen as a romantic thing because you thought about me before you just kind of like walked out the house. Like, all right, deal with your stuff. You know?
See? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a gesture.
Right.
It is a gesture. It's you thinking of me. It's our man showing us.
I'm always romantic then. Because I'm always thinking about my woman when I'm in a relationship.
But do you show it? Does it come with a gesture?
Yes.
Because you thinking about me is not.
No, it does.
I don't know that.
No, it does come with a gesture, but it just might not be the gesture that you value more than
right, which is why the love language part was in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing,
because
obviously, again, me telling you I love you, like thank you, But if it's not words of affirmation that I receive, then you telling me that you love me, it's nice to hear.
All right.
But it's not the end all be all. It's not necessarily romantic.
Y'all hear that? Don't be telling her you love her. It's not going to do nothing for her.
No, please.
She does not care.
Please don't
She
listen
does
to AJ.
not care if you love her.
Please don't listen to AJ. He's going to get you fired from your relationship. You're going to be cut.
All right. So here's what I think about. It's not really a chauvinistic thing. But this is what I think about romance, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's a state of mind more than anything. And we said that. Like, you said it's subjective, right? I think it's a state of mind more than anything because you could do romantic things, and if she just isn't there with you, it won't be romance.
Right.
Right? And so you could not do romantic things, and she still receive it as romance. Or she still... It's all on how you see what's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I don't. That's another reason why it's not so high up on my list because I could be trying hard and you could be like,
yes, and that was also in my definition when I said Romance for me doesn't work unless I'm into the person providing it.
But here's the thing. You can believe it and it'll be.
Go more specific for me, or
So,
say that in a different way.
Like, I don't have to do anything. You could just believe that you're getting romanced and you'll be happy.
This is true, and it does happen a lot with us, and
That's my problem right there. But
it shouldn't be a problem for you, though.
I'm listening.
Exactly, because my thing is you don't just not do a thing just because you feel like the girl could be like making up a fantasy in her head. Like, that's my problem. Huh?
Why?
Because then it's never gonna work for you. Like, you'll never find out who.
If she's making up the fantasy in her head, then it's.
Yes, no, but it is possible that you could find out that whatever it is that you are doing works for that specific person, that specific one. But if you don't do anything, because you're like, well, she's gonna make it up in her head anyway, like, that doesn't make any sense.
Nah, not. So you could be doing things, but it's not like it's just small things. So we're saying like the little small things, just thinking about her and everything, right? That's just who I am. I'm just doing that. Like I don't have to go big grand gestures to be romantic,
Right.
But if that's probably what she's saying. Like, so my problem with romance is this: it's so high up on the women's freaking I need list, and I'm just like, just fantasize it. You're here with me.
But it's not
just
so
do it.
I'm not, I guess I can't speak on it because I'm not really that girl. Like, I have been in situations, especially as a young girl, where it's just based off of the guy. Like, you like, oh girl, he wrote me a letter in class. I've never had a letter written to a handwritten note passed to me in class from a guy that I was talking to. So he's thinking about me. Like, that's enough. That's romantic. But it could be that he's just not listening in class and he has time and he's bored and he's just writing a letter just to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be that. And I see what you're saying. Like, if I'm really into him, then that could be enough.
He could be doing nothing and
True.
you're just there. Yeah.
Right.
It's not fair.
It is, though. It is. Again, but it just depends on who the person is, though.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think that it will behoove you as a man to just not try it all because of the fact that that's the case.
I would never recommend that.
Because for real, you do want a woman to be that into you,
Yes.
where you're not really trying, and it seems that it's very romantic, whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, right.
But again, soon she'll be able to see. Soon it's gonna, like, the smoke and mirrors are gonna fall. Soon she'll be able to see who you really are.
That's what I said earlier, and that's the problem with the whole romantic bomb.
But it's not a
bombing.
problem to me. It's not a problem because
All right, go ahead, and we're gonna go right to this.
right. I think the only way that's a
Segue.
problem is if you're trying to speed through, right? If you're trying to speed. Okay, it's been 6 months. He need to be telling me he loved me. Da 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 da. Like, if you're trying to like speed through it. But I think after a while, like, you do, especially if you're paying attention, you do find out, like, if the person is really that way or if they're not.
So you know how people say, like, you can't help who you love? Listen, I don't believe that at all. And it's mostly women who say that. Just being real. It's mostly women who say that. You can't help who you love. You fall in love. I think that's some BS. And I feel the same way with romance. Like, you can turn it. Well, I'll just speak for myself then. Remember I said I got the switch and I could just turn it off. I feel women could do the same thing. Like, if you're not attracted to a guy, you could just be like, no, it's not going to happen.
Yes.
Boom. And then if you are attracted to a guy, it's like romance is already there because you want him to be what you want him to be.
Yeah. Well, so
all he has to do is make himself a little bit likable to you.
But that's not. So I don't know. I know I'm not being very clear because it's not really. I'm trying to like make it the points touch. For me, it's not that though, because nobody is fine enough for me to sell my soul.
That's
Nobody
you.
is.
I'm
right.
not saying that though.
Right. No. I'm just saying. So those type of things, to me, the glamour and all of that, it does fall to the wayside because I'm really looking at you.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's not just an appearance thing or first impression thing. It's the interest. The interest. You have an interest in somebody, right? And so that already opens up the door for the romance to exist. And then if he comes in and just does the little things, pique your interest even more, it might just have, not you, I know how you are, but it has a lot of women just wide open. And that has happened to me with my past relationships. Like, y'all just wide open. And then, guilty, and I don't even know what you call it, not my last ex, but the ex before that, like, I was already like wide open with her, like all in. Like, we went to Vegas, it was just a whole big romantic trip in Vegas. Like, even when we wanted to be upset with each other, we couldn't be. It could have been a little bit of something else also, but it was just a whole beautiful situation. Like, neither one of us regret the trip or anything. Like, even to this day, even how everything ended, we just like, man, we had a real nice time, just in that time of our lives. I forgot where I was going. What was I saying?
Okay.
See how powerful that was? It just you see how powerful that was?
No, you were talking about
but when it falls off, when that stops,
right?
Like, when that, you was captivated, you had the romance, it was all that you was looking for, and now the romance is not there, or it's not to that level anymore, and now you're seeing something that you don't like in this person. So this is the question I had, right? What do you do when you're already in a serious relationship, because you've been romanced into this relationship, right? What do you do when you're in a serious relationship or marriage and then realize that y'all are not friends, or that you really do not like this person? Like, you actually don't like them.
Then you have to go. You have to get out of it.
Why? It was all good just a week ago. You was just romanced and everything, and now you're realizing, like, damn, this guy some shit.
Now I get what you're saying. Now we're starting to come to the same thing. But because I don't think that there's anything wrong with romance. I think that it should be a 10 in the sense that there are other things that matter. So I'm not putting it a 10 and then like putting like love 9.
You're saying multiple things could be 10s.
Exactly. And I think that romance is something that you have to have throughout your relationship.
I think that's where we was missing that.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like, if you do like top 10,
no,
I'm like order.
That's no. Okay.
All right, yeah.
So let me go ahead and clear up the that, right?
Yeah.
So no, when he asked me that, guys, what I was saying was I think it's a 10. I think it should be a 10, and it could be a 10. I was saying that in a sense of multiple things can be 10s, not necessarily that, okay, 10 is romance, 9 is money, 8 is God. Like, no, not at all. I think that I was just telling you what's important, and I think that romance is something that should be important throughout your relationship. I don't want you to definitely come in hot again, because even if you just gave me a little bit when we first started talking, again, with the chemistry, the essence that you were talking about, if you come in and I'm really feeling you, yes, you could do the bare minimum. But again, if you consistently do it, I'd rather that than you keep bombing me with romance and then you dry up and then you expect for me to find it for myself.
But what if it's not me drying up? It's just you not being there. So because you're interested, I could do the bare minimum and it makes you even more interested, right?
But if I'm still with you though, see, this is me talking about us being in a semi-healthy relationship, right? And you suddenly decide that life is or whatever we're trying to build is more important than the romance. When I said that romance is a 10, what I was saying was it's not. It should never be put on the back burner because whatever's going on in life. I don't feel like it's something you should do or you have to do every single day. Like, I'm not saying rub my feet every single day.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is if you started off rubbing my feet, right, then you can bring me flowers or whatever. It doesn't have to be, even every month. But just make sure that you have that romance there because that's why it's a 10.
That depends on you. That's what I'm saying. Because, what if you just really liked getting your feet rubbed, but something is not permitting me to do that right now, and now I'm trying to compensate in other areas, but you feel I'm still giving the same energy or plus more, but you feel like the romance isn't the same.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
No, if you are giving energy in other places, and that's why I say it's a spectrum, romance is a spectrum, and I understand it to be so. That may not be the case for everybody else, but I understand romance to be a spectrum. So it will never be where you start off rubbing my feet, and that's what you've been doing. and then you stop and you never do any others, like other things of romance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would be a problem for me. But if you do practice other parts of romance, if you do actually, put in effort to do other things, then we still Gucci.
Can you honestly say that you would notice that?
Yes.
So
I've been in a position.
I don't think many women would.
So full transparency, that was something that, me and, my last guy, we had an issue with that because we became committed and then things started fizzling out. Mm-hmm. It started becoming very routine. And that's what I told him. I was like, you don't even date me anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we had our date nights, but I like to go out, like take me out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would bring me flowers and things like that. And I do like to receive flowers, but it's like, why? Let's go to the museum. Why am I hard to date?
Because you're just such a structured person and everything. Like, well, I don't know. Maybe it might be different. Maybe, me, I'm spontaneous. I'd rather be like, maybe once or twice a month, we'd be like, hey, let's do this. Every other Saturday will be our date night or something. But I'm the type of guy, I'm be like, it's Tuesday, I just got off work. I feel good. Like, I want to go out. Hey, you trying to go up to National Harbor? Let's go walking or something. Hey, you want to?
Yeah, but I could do that. As long as it's
or I'll be like, hey, throw something formal on.
Yeah.
Let's go hit.
That wouldn't be that. So that wouldn't mess me up. It would just be a matter, like, for real. Like, I think it's just the thought of it. Like, again, you thinking about me, you wanting to partake in.
See, that's what messed my last relationship up.
What? That you didn't?
Because I didn't find this out until afterwards. Because she felt a certain way about herself. I'm the spontaneous guy. I like to get out. I don't like to stay in the house all day. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm gonna stay in the house all day, I'd rather
do it by yourself.
Why you say that? Why you had to finish it? I was just gonna go on because that sounds bad.
I mean, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you.
If I want to be in the house with you, I want to be in the house with you. But majority of the time, if I'm going to be in the house all the time, I would rather be.
My client just said that today. He said, I asked him, is he going like out of town anywhere? And he was like, no. And I guess I was asking him about international trips or whatever, and he was like, he said, I really haven't been out of the DMV much. And I said, well, why is that? And he said, because I don't like to travel alone. He was like, but he's a homebody though. Yeah. And when he's at home, he's by himself. Yeah. But when he goes out, and that's exactly what I got from him. Like, when I go out, I like to be with people.
Look, if I'm going to be in the house with you a lot, then we better be going out a lot. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be in the house with you all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of boring.
It sucks balls, man. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I get that. So that's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, with you saying that. It doesn't sound weird. I think my ex would disagree. So explain to me what her side of it was. So she didn't, it got you in trouble because she didn't want to go out?
So, yeah, I don't want to discuss it not on camera because, that's her she had her personal reasons why she didn't want to go out. But
it had to be something other than what you are saying.
It had nothing to do with me. So, right. Because she didn't want to go out, but she wanted me to come over. She wanted to stay in the house with all the time. Like, oh, okay. And I'm just like, I can't do this. So
she felt more of a discomfort going out, and you felt more of a discomfort staying in all the time.
Yeah, like we could stay in. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with staying in, just not all the time.
But that wasn't something that she communicated with you. Huh? She didn't communicate the reasons.
Why? Nah, not until after it was over.
Got it. And that's why that's so important too, because I didn't really get to communicate with him that part until I was able to see it, and we were kind of like already out of it. We were kind of already out of the relationship. But I think with us being outside of the relationship, we were also able to see things a little bit clearer as to what was happening inside of it. Mm-hmm. Which is, I don't.
Hindsight is always 20/20.
Exactly, mm-hmm. But I'm not completely against people doing that. Like, people be thinking that you gotta, you gotta be in a relationship, and then when y'all break up, like, that's it, that's the end all be all. No, sometimes you be so knee deep in stuff, like, you really honestly cannot see the cards crumbling around you. Like,
and even if you could, you may not be able to fix that or mend that because you're in it.
You're in it. Yeah, exactly. And that was something that we were mature enough to converse about because of the fact that we were able to step out of it. It was like, I'm not in my feelings, you're not in your feelings, this is what we see, so we have to start over if that's something that you want to do.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's like, this is when we were just talking about that, like the domino effect.
Yes.
Like, so when you're not in the line of dominoes, you can see what's going to happen.
Yes.
So you see the detriment come. But once you're in it, you're in it. It's a done deal.
Agreed.
Once the first one goes down, the last one goes down.
Yep.
And so sometimes it just has to be over for you to really step back and see, like, damn, this is what happened. And just so if you do want to go back into it with this person, you know how to. Or if you just like, I'm just going to take this to, I'm going to take a better version of myself to my next relationship.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So did you want to double back to the romance and
What?
so as far as like, okay, what would you do differently, I guess, and the
So
way?
that's what I said. My
Okay.
emotional intelligence, I'm definitely not going. I'm not romance bombing anybody else intentionally.
Okay.
Now I can't help how they feel if they feel like, oh,
because they're so magnetized by who you are. Yeah, they might think that you bringing them a tea because you bought yourself a tea
yeah,
is so he's so romantical.
yeah.
Okay.
Where really it's just I'm just a considerate
thirsty.
person.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
going. I'm
maybe
not
you
going
might
to walk
be
in your
too.
house.
Right.
Yeah, like.
But this ain't like your favorite tea, but like here's the tea.
Here, you want some?
Right. No, I'm
Because
good.
I noticed I didn't bring you any.
No,
It's like, nah, but I know that she doesn't drink those. So
no. But yeah, no, I get it though. I get what you're saying. I guess what I'm emphasizing is that romance should be something that is kept up throughout your relationship. As far as like what works and all
I
that.
want you to like me first. That's what I wanted to say. So like, because the question was, what if you get into this? So if the romance captivates both of y'all, right? And so I really don't know you yet. Like really what's happening is I like this idea of us and I'm enjoying it and it takes us to another level. But then I'm really starting to get to knowing the inner portions of Darah and I don't like it. And now it's just like, I don't know if I want to be here anymore. And so remember I asked you what comes first, like the relationship or the romance or the friendship or the romance. So really that's how I'm looking at my life now, just to prevent from making the same mistakes. I want to be friends with somebody. I want to know that if we are going through something and we neither one of us are really having that romantic essence that we could live in, that we're still friends and that we're still willing to make it work. And we want to bring that back even when we're at odds. Like I love this. This is always going to stick with me. What E.T. said about him and his wife. He was like, we made a covenant with each other. We made a pact with each other that even when we argue and when we mad at each other, he's like, the Bible say don't let the sun go down on your anger. He's like, that's just not realistic. You're going to go to bed mad sometimes. But we made a pact with each other that we never going to go to bed apart from each other.
Right.
We going to go to bed together and we going to cuddle. If we mad, we just going to cuddle mad.
Right.
And that's what, because they have that relationship and they had that agreement together where they're like, we're still going to fight this thing out, even though we both ain't feeling it right now. And that's why, if you don't have that relationship, I just feel like the romance it's not going to come back. If we not friends, like, and I'm not talking about friends like, hey, buddy. I ain't talking about that type of friends. I'm talking about,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I get it. And I agree. I'm like that.
But,
I want to have that friendship first.
yeah.
But that's the reason why I guess when you said, what did you say in regards to me specifically? Oh, when I was telling you that you won't be able to kind of like hide behind like romance bombing and stuff like that with me, is because again, you can rub my feet on other stuff, but at the end of the day, like, do I really bang with you? You know?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't, to me, I can feel the butterflies and things like that, but it's only so many times that you can rub my feet. It's only so many times that you can like paint my toenails or whatever. And then
is that a thing? Like the guy painting the girl toenails?
Yeah, that can be a thing. I don't need that. I like to go get mine professionally done. But that could be a romance thing. Yeah, especially if you like feet.
It's like, nah,
especially
I don't like feet, but I would do it for her. Like,
listen, you talking about a turn on for some women?
Yeah.
For sure.
But I'm telling you this, the feet cannot be hideous.
Oh, God,
looking.
no.
If your feet, like, if your toes, like, do this, don't ask me to
do anything.
I rub your ankles. I'm not rubbing it.
So could you be with a woman who has messed up feet? To be continued.
I had to think about it because it's like.
Have you ever been with a woman who had bad feet?
I don't believe so. No. So put it like this: your feet can't be worse than mine.
Okay.
And I don't. And I don't have bad feet.
Who had bad feet.
I don't have bad feet at all. By far, like I don't have no black toenails. I don't have no bunions.
He has really
no
nice
corns.
feet.
Yeah, and I work in construction, so I don't even understand how most men, like, you got an office job and your shit is terrible. I don't even understand that. Like,
right. He be wearing them hard bottoms.
And
they be too tight.
And the confession, I'm 34 years old. I just got my first pedicure, last year?
Yeah.
You just put me on to the girl and I just got it.
And he said, I said, how you feel? He said, like a king.
I know. And I want to feel like a king again. I just ain't had no time to get back out there.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
But yeah, so... I think that at the end of the day, the reason why the whole romance thing just doesn't work for me, like, in the bombing thing is because of that, right? The friendship thing. So I think friendship first, and tell me if you agree, friendship first, then romance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do want to be intentional about.
Yeah.
I want to be more intentional about building the relationship part of us than the romance part of us.
Okay.
I want the romance part of us to be natural, but I want the relationship to be intentional.
So how can the listeners, as a male, what advice would you give to other men who kind of have that same ideology? Because I had another client who, he said the same, that he likes to feel the girl out first, but he actually had to tell a young lady. But is he having sex with him? So I wasn't able to get to that part because it was just it was kind of a quick transaction. But he said that he asked me, should he feel bad that he told the young lady that he was actively involved in something else with a lady. Yeah. And he said it's not true, but he said that he knows how women get, whereas there's this like
they get too attached.
Aggressive attachment that happens.
Wow, I never thought of that, but I'm not a liar either though.
And that's what he
I want to do that, but I'm not a liar.
And I told him, I said honestly, maybe even a year ago, I probably would have been like, no, that is wrong. You should never do that. I said, but in just being realistic, I realize that we can be very aggressively attached. Mm-hmm. And I said, so I don't think that was wrong of you. And he was like, yeah, because, for real, like I want to be friends first. Like I want to get to know her. But I don't know that he had to tell her. I definitely still think it's wrong, though. Yeah, I don't think that he had to tell her
but I think it's wrong.
That it was another woman. But again,
because
you can tell some women that, and they're still going to be aggressively attached.
Now, if I do that and she's aggressively attached, I know that I don't want to have anything to do with her now.
It would turn you off.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it would turn him off.
Well, that's something you got to have to ask yourself. Like, is this somebody that I really want to deal with?
But that's why you can't be playing them games.
I'm not even saying it can't work out. It could. God could do anything. Anything could work out.
But even starting off with a game like that, to me, like even having to explain later on, like, girl, I ain't had nobody. Like, like at
that's
that point,
the foundation of y'all being.
It is, and now she's gonna be like, you still messing with that? Like, oh, it was a girl. Like you trying to tell me? Like you trying to play me now? Like
it leaves too much open. Yeah, because even if it wasn't at first, and then there comes somebody else later on, now she's going to be thinking, oh, what about the girl that you was dealing with when we first started talking? Like, who is she? And now if you say that it wasn't really a girl, she's not going to believe it.
Right.
It's too many problems.
So what would you tell the guys? How could they go about that?
So honestly, and I know dudes ain't going to want to hear this. So don't have sex with them, for when I say that. Mm-hmm. Because that's a lot of things that we're looking for.
Yes.
Men just want to have sex. Don't have sex with the woman, because that's going to bring an attachment for the both of y'all that is going to leave you blind in certain situations. Mm-hmm. So off bucks, don't go into a situationship looking for sex.
Right, but that's you would advise that that's only if you plan on having
that's the smallest part of it. Yeah, like if you're looking for a relationship, you're looking for a woman. Don't have sex with her, and that's the smallest part.
Yeah,
but it has the largest effect. Mm-hmm. But then I would say the emotional intelligence part. So don't be so captivated with the idea of being with this woman because of what you think she is. Like if y'all just started dating, you a month in, you don't know her.
Right.
Don't be so far in. And I mean that could go for both men and women.
Agreed.
Don't be so far in with her. Don't go thinking, a year down the line with this woman. You don't know her. You just like the idea that you have of her right now.
Right.
You only seen probably 5% of who this person is.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to have that emotional intelligence to be like, man, I think I'm feeling too strong for this girl too early in.
Yeah.
Let me really take it slow, take my time. And I say that, and I owe my man James an apology. I tried to call him, he didn't want to answer. He probably still beefing with me, I don't know.
Why? What happened?
Because I had realized, I don't know if it was after the last episode or the one before that, and I was like, I owe him an apology because we was putting the pressure on him saying that you're dragging this girl along. And then I get it, and I was like, dang.
Right.
He was right in doing what he was doing. Now, granted, he was having sex with her and stuff and everything, and had other girls that he was talking to, but he was like, I need to know for sure that this is somebody that I want to commit to, somebody that, and sometimes it might take 4 or 5 months. I know some girls probably ain't gonna stick around for that, but I think it's a testimony if you do. It might take 4 or 5 months for you to really be like, all right, I want to try. This might be somebody that I think I could commit to. Like I think I've seen enough. I like who this person is. We actually have a genuine relationship. And I done seen it. This is how I'm gonna look at it from now on. I done seen how it was when the romance fell down a little bit, where there was no and she still stuck around, and we still cool. It's not like she's nagging me and complaining because we're not doing these romantic things or not having this, and she's still all right. Now that's gonna make me want to romance you.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, now this is somebody that I think I'm gonna really try to make it work with.
So,
what would you say to the women?
So what, can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
This is more so for the socials. Men, I would like to know if, especially for the ones who are, very much into having sex with a woman, soon or quickly. Do you all find that what AJ is saying is something that you could do? Is that something that you would explore for somebody who you are actually interested in marrying? And please only answer if you plan on being married or desire to be married, because obviously there are some men who don't desire to be married. But if you do desire to be married, right, do you believe that that is something that you can intentionally do, like not have sex with a woman so that you can find that friendship first and then, find that romance? Please answer. Let us know.
Can I answer?
Sure.
Man, we have this is actually like a man conversation. Like, we actually talk about stuff like this.
Okay. Let me in.
The 9 times out of 10 answer is hell nah. I got to know what I'm getting before I got to test the milk before I buy the cow. They want this is their logic, and we already know the responses. This is their logic. What if it's trash? Like, what if she's not freaky enough?
What if it is trash? Is sex the only reason why you get married?
Maybe not for you guys.
Sex is the reason why men get married?
It's not the reason why they get married, but I'll tell you this. For most men, if sex ain't in the equation, they ain't getting married.
Oh, yeah.
Beforehand. I'm talking about beforehand. Just for most men, even men in the church. I know Christian men that was sexing the hell out of their wives before they was their wives. And I know Christian men that believe, well, I ain't gonna say they believe it, because in their heart they know it's wrong, but they testing the waters before they get married.
Just because they feel like they need to know if it's good. So then my question is, but then if it's really good and then for some reason she's not able to perform anymore, is that like, are you gonna divorce her?
You gotta ask them that. I don't know.
But I think that that's a valid question, because if a woman only feels like that's that's the thing that's making it work, what happens when we can't, or when we won't, or like? And it's hard for me to say when you won't, because it's not. I don't want it to seem like a woman just be like, nah, I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But what if there's no
like
connection? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's always a reason for something. And I don't feel like a lot of men are very intentional about finding out what that reason is. Like, if your wife just stops having sex with you, like, what's the reason? More than it's just like, but you just need to be having sex with me because that's what the Bible says.
So they're definitely not thinking like that. But we do not think like women also.
Of
so
course not.
remember when I said we don't have to have a reason to have sex. Like, let's have sex. Let's do it. So women are not like that most of the time. I'm not saying all of them. Most of the time, they're not like that, especially once you're in a long-term relationship and it's just not anything new for us. But to go back to the romantic piece, the romance piece, women need to feel secure, feel safe. You know, they need to feel comfortable. If at any point in time those things aren't there and the romance isn't there, a lot of times the legs might not be there either. Yeah. And so it's not, and any of those things can slip. Like, I won't know if you're feeling insecure at this moment unless you say something to me.
Right.
And sometimes you might not even be able to verbalize it. And so now we're like, I want to have sex, and you're just like, I'm just not there. Like, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to, making up reasons and everything. And we don't know what the hell is going on. And we can be actively trying to romance you, but you just not there.
Right.
What are we supposed to do about that?
That's why the friendship comes into place.
But if we can still have the friend. We might not even be at odds, but it's just something turning you off.
Right. But I feel like you could talk to your friend about that. You could talk to your friend about why, like, you're just not really feeling it.
Yeah, but we still ain't having sex though. That's the problem. Like,
that's
babe,
understandable.
I understand that you feel like this, and you know, I'm sorry that you feel like this, but you know, give me that sex.
I'm not giving. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the biggest issue there too. It's like, you know, it's really like there's no, I think like some men, there really is no like, I mean, like, sorry that you feel that way, but you know, I have a desire or I have a need that needs to be met.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is the problem. I don't think most men will do that. Now, we have heard of occasions where people would, but I don't think most men would do that with their wife, like with somebody that they really love. Like, you're not going to force the sex on you when I know you're feeling down. The problem is they'll do something else to meet their needs, whether it's like watching porn or something, or hopefully not stepping out. But it's but so long when a man is having active sex, like, it's but so long that he's going to have to do something.
Right. So, and I guess that I guess we can have another episode on what that is, because I have had a conversation recently about how the reason why a lot of men do step out and go to another woman is because they haven't explored their own sexuality. And this is not to say like
write that. Did you put that? Write that down in there.
Yeah, I will.
That will hit that.
I'm not gonna forget. Right. But yeah, that they only see, so if there's only black or white. There's no real full color spectrum. Like, they haven't explored it. And, you know, in the church, you know, we don't talk about, like, and this is not us, but, like, we don't talk about masturbation. We don't talk about, you know what I mean? We don't talk about all the things.
But it's just not a commonly spoken about thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a really good conversation. But here we are talking about something else besides romance. But I think this is good.
That means it's time to hit the jar.
I think it's time to hit the jar. Let's see what our next topic is going to be, guys.
Next topic jar.
Our topic.
I guess that one's the one that wants to.
Right. Pop does the because we used to say pop.
And next topic for next week will be respect and love, which each means to both sexes what weighs more. Ooh, I like this one. This is perfect.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Might want to have a guest on that one.
Who?
I don't know.
But
I think it would be good to have a. I think it would be good to have a panel.
I think so too.
So it would be 2 guys and 2 girls. What you think?
I'm with it.
We'll see what happens in the next episode of Deep Skydiving.
I'm with whatever.
Huh?
I'm with whatever. I like the idea.
Yeah, I like that too. All right.
All right.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'll put the idea out there after we.
Okay. Well, we'll repeat it one more time. Respect and love. What each means to both sexes. What weighs more? Until the next episode. Y'all know where you can find us. We are on every podcast platform, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
and on YouTube.
Yes, send us an
Social
email.
media. Email is deepskydiving@gmail.com.
Yes.
Deep Skydiving Podcast on TikTok. Deep Skydiving Podcast on Instagram.
Hey, come see us.
Engage with us, talk to us, debate us.
Again, right? We ain't got to be on our side.
Hold up. What song is on your mind right now?
I don't have a song in my mind.
I do.
What?
It's the only reason that I asked, because what I just said brought this up, and it's my man. Share My Love. Jeffrey Osborne.
Oh, sing it.
Hell no.
Okay, say the words.
Won't you share? I can't do it. It's but when I was thinking
Why
about
am I drawing a blank? You know that's my song. I mean, that's my guy.
That's my jam.
Jeffrey.
Share My Love is that's one of my jams.
Give me the words.
We're gonna Share My Love. We're gonna listen to it after we
Share
cut this.
My Love.
Yeah.
How does it go? Like, give me like
Won't you share my love?
Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
Oh.
Anyway,
you're giving me a new inspiration. Whatever. That's my John though.
Yeah, I like
but
that.
yeah,
I like Jeffrey.
we out, y'all. We
right,
love y'all, and whatever you do,
make
it work. Just always remember to make it work.
God bless y'all. We love y'all.
We love you.